Football Roundup. Latest updates.
If this is your first time on Football Roundup, please like, subscribe and click on the notification bell.
We're actually starting with some big breaking news. We said that Joao Felix deal was close. Not anymore. It's done. Joao Felix has now completed his loan move to Chelsea. So really big news, this one. We've been talking about it for the last few days. There was a sizable loan fee on there as well for them. Arsenal were interested. Manchester United were interested. They were more monitoring the situation here. But Chelsea, they went all out for him, and they have got Joao Felix on loan until the end of the season. And I believe we can go live to Chelsea's training ground right now because James Green is there for us. And James, big breaking news to start the show.
Very big breaking news. I expected to hear that news today, to be honest with you. We knew the player arrived in London yesterday. We knew the player was having a medical at the Chelsea training ground here in Cobham this morning. And it was all a matter of time before the paperwork was signed, sealed, delivered. And Joao Felix was announced as a Chelsea player for the remainder of the season. That's just been announced right now. So Chelsea fans can warm up, get excited about a player with huge potential. Just 23 years old. Remember, he was signed back in 2019 by Atletico Madrid for a fee of around about 120 million euros, a club record fee for the player. It hasn't necessarily worked out amazingly well for him in the Spanish capital right now. There's rumours of a little rift between the player and the manager Diego Simeone. He started just 7 La Liga games this season, but we saw some of his potential in the World Cup for Portugal, and this is a player with a huge amount of talent, and he wants to showcase that talent to everybody. And this is a big opportunity for him arriving in Chelsea. A deal that works for both parties in this regard. For Atletico Madrid, they receive a fee around about 11 million euros, which is a big fee for the player. And it's apparently that Chelsea will be picking up the full wages of Joao Felix, which is around about £250,000 a week. So it's a lot of money off the wage bill for Atletico Madrid. An opportunity for a player to rediscover his form back in a different league. And for Atletico Madrid to focus on what they need to be doing as well, but they could have a very excitable player coming back to them in the summer, or if they look to move him on in the summer, then they might be able to recoup a lot of that money they spent on him in 2019.
So that's the financial side of everything there, James. In terms of the type of player, is he exactly what Graham Potter needs?
I think exactly might be pushing it a little bit right now, Tom. Look, Chelsea need goals, that's for sure. They've scored just 20 in the Premier League this season. That ranks 13th amongst the 20 Premier League sides at present. But they've got a growing injury list right now. We know about defenders. We know about the issues with Reece James, with Wesley Fofana, with Ben Chilwell. But throw Raheem Sterling, throw Christian Pulisic in the mix after they picked up injuries against Manchester City a week ago in the Premier League encounter. There is gaping holes in that attacking area that could be filled, and Joao Felix is a player that certainly can do that. Look, this is a player with so much potential. He is a top talent. You know, there's a reason why Atletico Madrid paid such a big amount of money 3 and a bit years ago for him, and we just want to see that potential come through. And Chelsea, look, it's an opportunity to do so. They need numbers in the side. They need more quality in that squad. I know they're actively recruiting right now. They've been very busy in this January transfer window so far, but is it an area? I think it's an area that they potentially need, but I don't think it's a priority, and I still think I'd be very surprised if Chelsea don't dip into the transfer window and the transfer market a little bit more in January. Certainly in search for a right back. We know about Reece James' injury problems, and also a central midfielder. We know N'Golo Kante, Jorginho, both out of contract at the end of the season. It's an area that they desperately need some players in, and I expect to see them dip into the transfer market a little bit more this month.
James, thank you. Right, OK, so that's happened straight at the top of this show on Transfer Talk. Big news. It's hello to Olivia Bazaglo, Zach Jalab and James Savundra as well. Get in touch, especially Chelsea fans right now. Hashtag Transfer Talk. What do you think of this deal now that you have completed the loan signing of Joao Felix? And as that was happening, I think we did some quotes dropped on the Chelsea website from potentially the player himself, Olivia.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, Portuguese attacker Joao Felix will be part of the Chelsea squad for the remainder of the season. Just 23 years old, and he's actually said Chelsea is one of the great teams in the world. And I am very happy to be here and very, very excited to play at Stamford Bridge. Now, whether or not he will feature against Fulham tomorrow night, whether he was registered in time, we're not yet sure. But if not, I'm sure he will be presented to the Stamford Bridge crowd on Sunday for their game against Crystal Palace.
Yeah, OK. Hello to everyone watching on YouTube, by the way. There's a poll out there right now, a very simple poll just saying, will Joao Felix be a success at Chelsea? It's almost 50-50. It is 53% now saying no, Joao Felix will not be a success at Chelsea. So a little bit of pessimism there from some of the people watching on YouTube. But judging by some of their comments, it's not a huge surprise to have that negativity there. But what do you think, what will success look like for Joao Felix in the next 6 months?
Yeah, I think it's all about the team here. I don't think you can necessarily say that, OK, if he gets 10 goal involvements, that is good or bad if the team, say, finish outside of European football. If you were giving it a number, 10 goal involvements, I think would be pretty good, especially at the moment with Chelsea kind of struggling in front of goal. For himself as well, he'd be great if he can kind of help Potter find the identity that he wants Chelsea playing with. Obviously, there are rumours as well that Chelsea are bringing in more wingers or attackers in the summer, so you can kind of be that stopgap for 6 months while Potter tries to develop this attacking style, this Potterball football at Stamford Bridge. And for himself as well, this is a great 6 months to get himself back on track. This is a guy who at Benfica people were talking about as a Ballon d'Or winner, one of the next best players in the world, up there with Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe has gone on to win a World Cup and make Champions League finals, so on and so forth, whereas Felix hasn't quite done that. And so if he can have a solid 6 months in arguably the biggest league in the world, put his name back out there and give Chelsea fans something to root for, then his career as well as success at Chelsea could be a possibility.
Well, let's have a look at some statistics, actually, which I think the Chelsea fans might quite like, because Joao Felix has averaged a goal or assist every 101 minutes in La Liga since the start of last season, by the way. It's about a season and a half here. It's the third best ratio of anyone in this period who've had a minimum of 30 appearances, and some more stats here as well for him, which are fairly favourable as well. And James, I did mention there's a bit of negativity in terms of the people getting in touch, but it could be quite an exciting signing for Chelsea.
I think it could, and as you said, the poll there, the reaction has been mixed from both Chelsea fans and football fans. But I think what we should do is get excited about the player that we saw burst onto the scene at Benfica, and maybe take what we saw at Atletico with a pinch of salt. It looked like an awkward marriage of convenience when he signed with Diego Simeone, and it's proven to be that exactly, because the way Atletico play their football, it's about spoiling what the opposition are doing and building from the back. And when you've got a player who Chelsea have admitted themselves on their website, the artist has arrived. It's an artist. It's someone who's been let go free, not somebody who you want to be doing a huge amount of defensive work. So I think maybe that's a warning to Graham Potter, because one thing, and my criticism of Graham Potter so far, what he did really well at Brighton was he'd set his team up with the opposition in mind. Now, when you come to a side like Chelsea, with the players that Chelsea have, I think you should be looking at what you can do to the opposition rather than what they can do to you. So what you want to see is him being given this free role. And on the website themselves, they say a skillful and a stylish attacker, effective when roaming fluidly. So almost a warning from whoever's written the press release to Graham Potter about giving this player a free role, an opportunity to express himself. Because if he does that, then he's got a real opportunity. It's been a disaster at Atletico. He started only 42% of his matches in the league, and the stats there show when he does play, he does create chances, he can score goals. I think it could be a perfect move for both Chelsea and Joao Felix. Yeah, I should just mention, actually, because in the last few moments it's been confirmed that actually Joao Felix has extended his contract with Atletico Madrid. We were saying that this was expected. He would extend his contract before going out on loan to Chelsea. That's what's happened. Just having a look at how far. It's until June 2027. It's until now. So
1 year.
Signs here that Atletico Madrid still see him as part of their plans. We've already said that there's no option to buy for Chelsea. So Atletico Madrid thinking that this 6 months could really help them in the long term. Chelsea very much looking to this one as a short-term.
Football Roundup. Latest updates.
If this is your first time on Football Roundup, please like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell